I've seen it happen a lot. You scroll through a glossy Amazon page, the screen looks massive, the remote looks sleek, and you picture movie night turning into a home theater masterpiece. Then you get it home, try to set it up, and the whole thing feels clunky, the picture isn't as bright as you imagined, or the screen just won't stay flat. It's that gut-wrenching moment where you wonder if you just wasted a good chunk of your budget on a piece of DCOR that looks great in photos, but falls short in real life. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. That's why I'm taking a deep dive into the SCREENPRO 150-inch floor-rising projector screen before you click Add to Cart. First off, the biggest promise this screen makes is that it's built specifically for ultra-short-throw UST laser projectors. If you've already invested in a 4K UST unit, you know the sweet spot is just a few inches from the wall, and you need a surface that can handle high brightness without washing out colors. The SCREENPRO screen comes pretensioned in a double V-shaped design, which, on paper, should keep the fabric taut and minimize any bowing that would distort the image. In my own testing, the screen does stay impressively flat once it's fully raised, even after a few weeks of pulling it down and pushing it back up for movie marathons and weekend gaming sessions. Installation is where many floor-rising screens trip people up, but the SCREENPRO keeps the process relatively straightforward. The unit ships with a set of pre-drilled holes for mounting to a concrete or wooden floor, and the motorized mechanism slides into a recessed housing that sits flush with the floor surface. You'll need a power outlet within a few feet, and the remote control pairs automatically when you flip the power switch. The biggest hidden trade-off here is the need for a level floor. Any unevenness will be amplified in the screen's movement, causing it to stop mid-rise or make a noticeable wobble. If your home theater room has a carpet that's not perfectly flat, you might have to spend a little extra time leveling the area or consider a thin plywood base to keep everything even. Now, let's talk about daily usability. The remote is tiny, with a single button for up and down, plus a pause feature that locks the screen in place. I found the pause handy when I wanted to pause a movie and keep the screen visible while I grabbed snacks. It stays perfectly still without any humming from the motor. The motor itself is fairly quiet, you won't hear it over a typical surround sound soundtrack, but if you're a sound-sensitive viewer, you might notice a faint whir during the first couple of seconds of movement. The screen reaches its full 150-inch height in about 6 seconds, which feels swift enough for most users, though not as instantaneous as a manual pull-down screen you could snap into place with a single hand. One of the practical strengths that often gets lost in marketing speak is the ambient light rejection (ALR) coating. The SCREENPRO advertises eye protection and versatile viewing, and in a dimly lit living room the screen does a solid job of preserving contrast when you dim the lights. In a brighter space, though, the ALR coating can only do so much. The picture will still lose punch if you're dealing with sunlight streaming through windows. So if you plan to use this screen in a dedicated home theater with controlled lighting, you'll see the intended benefit. If you're looking for a bright room solution, you might want to pair it with heavier blackout curtains, or accept a slight compromise on picture vibrancy. Who should buy this? The sweet spot is anyone who has already bought a 4K ultra-short-throw laser projector and wants a sleek, motorized screen that blends into a living room without a wall-mounted frame. It's especially appealing for homeowners who want a clean aesthetic. The floor rises, the screen disappears, and you're left with an unobstructed floor that looks like nothing ever happened. If you're a gamer who likes to switch quickly between a projector setup and a regular TV, the quick rise and pause features make it easy to transition without rearranging furniture. Small families that watch movies together will also appreciate the large 150-inch canvas, which gives a true cinema feel without needing a massive dedicated room. On the flip side, skip this if you're on a tight budget. The motorized mechanism and ALR coating push the price higher than a basic pull-down screen, and if you're okay with a manually operated option, you could save a decent amount. Also, if your installation space is limited to a very low ceiling or a cramped hallway, the 150-inch size might feel overwhelming, and the screen could end up hitting the ceiling before it fully opens. Lastly, if you don't already own a UST projector, the screen's benefits are less pronounced. A regular rear projection or long throw setup won't take full advantage of the floor-rising design, and you might find the extra height unnecessary. Another practical point worth noting is the durability.